Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Game Development Log video diary, and it's going to be a bit of a quick one this week because I've just been working on one update all week, which was to increase the world size. So as you can clearly see, the world is now a lot bigger than it was last time. In fact, it's now 4 times larger than it was before, and that obviously gives you a lot more space to create your ecosystems. You have more areas for different biomes, and also when I add some more animals into the game, it's going to be a lot easier to keep them apart if you don't want them to eat each other. Actually increasing the world size obviously wasn't that difficult, but it does create a few new problems, mainly to do with performance. With the world being 4 times bigger, there's now the possibility of 4 times more entities being added to it, and the terrain and water meshes each have 4 times more triangles now. In total, a full scene like this has over 1 million vertices in it, most of which have to be rendered multiple times in order to add things like shadows and reflections, and so I needed to do a bit of optimizing to make sure that the game still runs as fast as possible. The first thing that I did this week was to split the world up into multiple chunks, and you can see the 9 different chunks being rendered here. The main reason for this was to allow for frustum culling, which is a technique that allows you to not have to render objects that aren't in the camera's view. So by splitting up the world, it allows me to frustum cull the chunks that can't be seen by the camera, meaning that a lot fewer vertices have to be rendered each frame. However, this doesn't do anything to help when the camera is zoomed out and the whole world is in view like this, and this is when the game is at its most performance intensive. So to try and improve this, I made each chunk have 2 batches for static objects. One batch is for the larger objects in the chunk, such as trees and rocks, and this batch is always rendered when the chunk is in view. The other batch is for the smaller objects such as grass and flowers, and to help speed up the game, these objects are only rendered when the chunk is near the camera. So you can see here that when the camera moves away from the chunk, the smaller objects fade out and then aren't rendered anymore, which removes a large number of vertices from the scene. Another feature that I added in this week is something that a few people have suggested in the comments of previous videos, and that is the option to speed up time in the game. I'm still not sure if this is actually going to be part of the game or not, but I thought that I should add it in so that I could at least try it out. So now when you press this button here, the game speeds up, which makes the sheep bounce around faster, the trees grow faster, you get diversity points faster, everything ages quicker, and so on. If I do end up adding this feature into the game, then I'll probably add a slider here rather than just an on-off option, but as I said, I want to wait until I can try it out with more of the gameplay mechanics before I decide whether this will actually stay part of the game or not. So that is it for this week. I just need to give a big shout out to the top Patreon supporters from last month, who were Justin, Crazy Rusky, Jerry Bradshaw, Crazy Red, Dan A, Danny D, Ivan, Benjamin Fuller and Nathan, so a huge thank you to you guys. But yeah, that is it for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time.